Okay, so I've shared my screen. Okay, let me open Excel file. Okay, so the questions that we are learning backend, and अभी जो हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं, that is a backend development. Okay. Okay, so we are studying backend development, but backend is used to not, I'll say, it's used in conjunction with front end. Correct? Ki front end means your HTML and JavaScript and all those things. So front end and back end. First, we have to understand both, how does both work. You know, how does these two work together to make any web application. ठीक है, this we have to understand first of all. ठीक है, ये हो गया बैक एंड डेवलपमेंट और ये हो गया फ्रंट एंड डेवलपमेंट. बट फ्रंट एंड क्या है, बैक एंड क्या है, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, you to understand a little bit. ठीक है, so what is happening, what is the thing which we are learning. So we are learning backend development in Node.js है ना. So that is fine, we are learning in Node.js and all those things. But हम क्या कर रहे हैं, मतलब why we are, sorry, doing this. So let me go back and open the browser. Okay, let's suppose I type google.com. This is loading, something is loading, correct? So the front, you can see this web page. The web page क्या है? What is this? This is nothing but plain HTML. Okay. When I click on this thing, something happens. Suppose I click EEE. Something is happening, correct? So it is happening in front of our eyes. It is happening in the browser. जो हम type कर रहे हैं, it is getting captured. Then based on the, suppose I type Tata. So something I type Tata. So this website, this web page will make some backend request to the web server और उसका रिजल्ट लेके आएगा. अब देखो यहाँ बहुत सारा रिजल्ट आया. इफ यू स्क्रॉल डाउन, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Can you count? 1 2 is 10. Suppose I type Google. Can you see again we are getting 10 result? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Why we are getting every time 10 results? Any guess? People, you can guess. Okay, I'll
We
ask a
have
different
set
question.
to we have set the output will be maximum 10.
Okay, output value, output size length is maximum 10, correct? Okay, but who is setting? Front end is setting or back end is setting that thing?
Front end.
Front end. Okay. So I will open right click. I will say inspect. Everybody knows inspect because you have already worked on React. I'll go in the network tab. Everybody know how to use network tab. Okay. I'll just see what happens. I am typing here G. I type G. Something happened. Then I type Geo. Again something happened. I type GOO. Something happened. Again I type G L. I will do what uh, will clear all this thing. Huh? Again I go, I will clear and type E. So if you see what is happening, 204, 204, no content, no content. If I click on this thing, payload, you see some payload is getting solved, and preview blank. This is blank. Again response is blank. Again this is blank. Queries parameter, header. So you see We are making some request to google.com and we are passing the values जो हमें टाइप करना है. ठीक है, we are passing Google whatever it is. I'm also not understanding how this is. They have done the coding, but some request is made, post request, something like that, and it is giving you the results. Okay, obviously result has to come from somewhere. Na Google Translate, Google Maps, Meet. It is coming from somewhere. Na it's coming from where? From the web server, correct? वरना कहाँ से आता? वेब सर्वर से ही आ रहा है ना. Okay, so if let me check from where this is coming. Response headers. Response headers. Mm, request header. Cookies. Google.com/. Payload is we're passing query string. Okay. We are passing the four parameters. Is type EI VED ZX. ZX is like the time is time. किस time पे request किया? VD is I guess we are making some request no. So that is in the encrypted not encrypted form but some encoding is done. ये आप लोगों को पता नहीं है but and then something if I type here you can see ATP CSI ZSI is this click VI1 PVN query string ZX G. I'm not able to understand the format. Form data log. This is log. This is different. I guess something like. Actually, you see the response. Key response आया कहाँ से? This you can check it. But we are not able to check it. We are not able to check it. But okay. I will give you some simple website. इसमें समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. But suppose I can tell you. Suppose I type tutorials point. Suppose okay. Okay. I right click again. I do the inspect element. Okay. तो मुझे क्या देखना है कि अच्छा जब मैं टाइप करूंगा तो क्या होगा. तभी ओपन द नेटवर्क टैब अगेन और यहाँ पर टाइप. Okay, just see. If I type A, something happened, nothing happened. Suppose I type W, something happened, nothing happened. I type WS, something happened, nothing happened. But something happened, correct? Can you see? AWS fundamentals, AWS this. Can you see this thing? आ रहा है ना? Response आ रहा है ना?
Yes, sir.
इसको बोलते हैं ऑटो कंप्लीट है ना. रिएक्ट में पढ़ाई होगा HTML. दिस इज नोन एज ऑटो कंप्लीट. सो देखो ये नेटवर्क टैब पे एक रिक्वेस्ट गया. मार्केट URL सजेशन डॉट PHP फाइल है. दिस बैकएंड इज मेड इन PHP. ये तो पूरा URL दिखा रहा है ना. बैकएंड का URL है https search totalpoint.com market URL suggestion.php. If I click on this thing, you can see what is the response coming. Okay, what is the this is the request, correct? A request URL. Can you see this thing? This is the URL, correct? This is the request URL. This है ना. And इस पे हमने क्या भेजा? तो check the payload. Can you see? Check the payload keyword. What? AWS. We send something ना. We send some payload ना. Payload मतलब कि हमने कुछ भेजा. Payload को उसको payload क्या होता है? जो we send something in the body. So what we send? AWS. Why AWS? Because The end user ने type किया what AWS. That's why we are sending AWS to the API. So this is the API endpoint. This is the API endpoint. 200 matlab that there's no error, and the we are getting some response of this endpoint. And what is that response? You can check here. And this is in which format?
JSON.
Yeah, JSON. If I and I can open the JSON formatter. JSON formatter I will search. You can also try it your end if you want to. Okay. And just let me open this opening. Yeah. If I paste it, can you see this is in JSON format? Everything. ID 12601. Name क्या आया? AWS. Strong means you. What? Why this is strong? Why this strong is coming? Do you know?
Bold,
To show that in bold format, correct? If you
bold.
see,
Hmm.
it's coming in the bold format, correct? AWS. But fundamentals is not coming in the bold format, correct? Only AWS is coming in the bold format. Can you see this?
Yes.
So that value is coming from where? From the backend API. देखो ना, it's coming from the backend API. The name is the complete name, AWS fundamentals, but they are wrapping this AWS with a strong format. So it will display. It will get displayed in which format? In the uh, in bold, correct? Then we have image course 2601 image.png. Okay, and the URL to aws fundamentals dot index dot is URL. What is the use of this URL? Why they're sending this URL?
So
Anybody?
URL linked to the search the keyword.
Correct. Suppose I just mouse over this thing. If I click on this thing, it will lead me to that only, though, na? This only, na? AWS fundamental index.esp. Correct? See, AWS fundamentals. Correct? So, are you understanding what is happening? Simple है ना कि यहाँ पर टाइप किया, यूजर ने कुछ टाइप किया और यहाँ पर कोर्सेज का लिंक्स आया, ठीक है, कोर्सेज का लिंक आया और we can check the request and response. This is the request, this is the URL. Okay, market url.suggestion.php. We are not passing any parameter here. Na? Generally, if you have used, I guess, React, you've seen that many times it asks for parameters, correct? Dynamic parameter, but we're not passing anything in the URL, na? Not in the query string or in the URL parameter. But we are sending a payload in the body. ठीक है, postman में we have option postman to send the body. ठीक है, इसको बोलते हैं form data. JSON भी होता है, form data भी. There are multiple ways of sending data to backend. One is form data, one is your JSON body. If I open postman, if I click on plus, yesterday वो दिखा ही रहा था ना, हाँ ये तो कल दिखा रहा था. So suppose I click on the body, there's an option none, there's option form data. Can you see this form data? Form data. If I click raw, then I will get the JSON format. See, then I click raw. In the headers, you can see in the body, we are sending raw JSON, but we can also send form data. What is form data? कुछ नहीं है, key and value pair. That's it. Key. What is the key? Key is your. If you see this request, what is the key here? The key is keyword, and value is AWS. Like this is the keyword, and this is what AW. Simple key value pair. You can also pass in the query string. If I pass like this thing, keyword equal to AWS. कल बताया था ना मैंने query string. It's the same thing. So there are multiple way to send the data to the backend. पहला है in the query string. Question mark लगाओ. Keyword equal to AWS. This is the query string. Second is form data. Keyword AWS. And if I see raw and JSON, how do I send that? The same value. What I have to write here?
In curly bracket. In curly
In curly
bracket.
braces what?
Key and value pair.
What is the key? Keyword.
Keyword.
Here it is keyword. And here it is AWS. Simple है. This is also, this is double quote, this is. So either way, you send in this format, JSON format, you send in the form data, keyword AWS, or you send in the query string, keyword AWS, data will reach to the backend. ठीक है, डेटा विल रीच टू द बैक एंड, है ना. अब जिसने द डेवलपर हु हैज डेवलप दिस थिंग, जिसने भी डेवलप किया है, दे विल हैव समथिंग ना, व्हाई दे आर यूजिंग गेट रिक्वेस्ट. अगर कीवर्ड में चाहिए तो वी विल हैव अ गेट रिक्वेस्ट, नॉट अ पोस्ट रिक्वेस्ट, है ना. व्हेनेवर यू हैव अ गेट रिक्वेस्ट, then you send the data in the keyword. There is a standard, there is a convention, बोलो इसको. When you have the post request, then generally you send the body, and then you send either in the form data or either in the raw JSON format. If I check here in this payload, is it get or post? What is this get or post? How do I check?
Post headers.
It's a post. That's why we are saying form data. Okay. So we are sending, so post matlab we are not sending the URL, we are sending the body, either in the form data or either in the, either, see, this is the body, no? You see, this is the body parameter, correct? So in body, we can send in the form of JSON, or we can send form data, or there are other also, binary and form URL encoded. But yeah, these three are main. One is form data, one is URL encoded, one is raw. And raw means basically JSON. But all is the part of the body only, correct? And body comes into picture when you have the post parameter, post method. Agar get method hai, then this will not hold. Most of the time, people will not check the body. Then you have to send the data in the query string or in the parameter. You can pass the parameter also. You have users and then slash user ID, whatever, 123. And then this is a parameter in the URL. And then this can be a dynamic value. Correct? 123 है किसी दूसरे user के लिए, it will have a different value. But the point I'm making it is very simple. No? Just observe now what is happening. You're sending a request, you're getting a response. How hard is this to understand? And it is a simple response. No? ID, name, type. I don't know what is the use of type. I'm not sure. The front end developer must have done something. An image name, image भी दिया है, URL भी दिया है. ठीक है. So I don't know image का use क्या है. Image I don't know what is the use of image. But yeah, mostly what I can see is uh, what we are using is the name and the URL, correct? ID also we are using, but ID is like sometimes it is required, sometimes it is optional.
So
Okay,
image is
because
the left side icon.
but left side icon is the same, no? Oh, oh,
Yes, sir. Extreme left in the every keyword.
hmm. Okay. This is the icon. I don't know. Okay, this icon is coming. I'm not sure from where. Okay, that is fine. That is fine. See, this is their website. No? How they have developed is up to them. But मेरा point क्या है कि this is also like a what I'll say. Uh, this is also like a yeah. So this is also a simple website, correct? But still they are using the APIs, correct? Backend APIs. है. So nowadays APIs has become a normal thing. Okay, suppose you click on this thing. Let's see the URL. What happens? It reloads because it loads an entire new page. Okay, so it loads a new page. Okay, but if I click on this, let's suppose I click on this plus, will it will it load the entire page? Can you see what is happening? Again, I click on plus, see what is happening. Can you see that loading icon? Why that loading icon is coming? This loading.
So time is taking to retrieve data from backend. That's why it's showing loading icon.
See, तो ये plus का दो implementation होगा. Either it is hidden here itself, and when you click it, thus it is unhide. Okay, or when you click it, the actual value will come from the backend. ठीक है. अब this is where full stack developer comes into picture. देखो, if you bring all the data at once, the website will become slow. ठीक है, you can bring all the data है ना at once, but then the website becomes sometimes slow. तो performance कैसे increase करते, you bring the data or the content which is visible to the user, the minimal content है ना. अभी देखो ये मुझे दिखा है ना, HTML5 CSS this thing. Suppose यहाँ syllabus नहीं भी रहता, suppose नहीं रहता, I could have clicked on this curriculum and then it could have loaded the content, no problem. अभी आप लोग जो पढ़े हो सिंगल पेज एप्लीकेशन, रिएक्ट क्यों पढ़ेगा आप लोग, बिकॉज दैट इज द पर्पस ना, कि इट विल डू एंड इट विल ब्रिंग द डेटा फ्रॉम द बैकएंड एपीआई, इट विल लोड द मिनिमम वैल्यू, करेक्ट. नाउ लेट मी अगेन ओपन द split element. Okay, I will show you again. I will just scroll it. Okay, and you can see this is proper responsive website है ना. इसको responsive बोलते हैं because हम इसको scroll भी कर रहे हैं तो भी इसका content is not breaking है ना. this is proper layout है ना, इसको रिस्पॉन्सिव वेबसाइट बोलते हैं. तो प्रॉपर यूआई डेवलपर विल नो ऑल दिस थिंग्स है ना. सी दिस इज छोटा हो गया बट इट्स नॉट ब्रेकिंग एनीथिंग, नथिंग इज बैड ना, इट्स प्रॉपर, इट इज डिस्प्लेइंग है ना. So that is the use of that is why responsive websites बनाना UI developer is also in very demand. Like, do you know end to end things how to do? अब देखो ज्यादा इसको किया तो सिंगल पेज हो गया, देखो one one row one column. So everything is one column. See, so this is known as responsive है ना. So chalo, we will not go there, we will focus here on the APIs है ना. So I'll go here and click on the network tab again. Okay, so if I click on the network tab again, uh, I can get the yes, give me one more. Yeah, so if I click on network tab and now I'll go in this thing. Just 1 minute. Okay, fine. So if you click on this plus sign, this see, I will just delete this thing. Okay, now I'm going, मतलब कोई history नहीं है. Now let me click on this thing. See what happens. It makes some request. Then this is loading, है ना. Just observe. 200, 200, 200. I click on this thing. Some function get loaded. Okay, payload. Okay, random. I don't know what is this random. If you see this form data, you can see this is the link. Okay, something is there, and the response filter session is unrestricted, can't dispatch pending call. Random. We should have seen the result. Okay, let me delete. If I do minus, again it loads something. Function copyright closer. I don't know what is this. Payload. But this is Google Ads. That is different thing. Subscribe button. Click on subscribe button. Click. You're not clicking on the subscribe button. So I guess it is not coming from network. It is making some request, but I guess this data is already there. It is just getting loaded. Okay, I guess, because it is not coming from API. We're not seeing the response. It might be, but we are not seeing the response. So we can check any website. Suppose I go to what I can say. Suppose I go to Udemy. Suppose just like that, Udemy. Okay, I can open the Udemy website. It opens. Again, I want to search. Again, I will click on this thing and say expect element. Okay, and if I type, okay, again I will open the network tab. Okay, I will delete the history. I'll just type uh, A W S. So some data is coming. Let's see from where it is coming. We can see AW query string. We can this is a straightforward API. Headers also we can see Udemy search suggestion. कर दो इसका नाम से समझ में आ जाएगा API. You see the endpoint API 2.0. Let me copy this thing. Paste in the Excel file. See, this is the backend URL. Very simple. Oh, sorry, control Z, not this one. Mhm. Copy value, and now I'll go and paste. Simple now. You can see udemy.com/API.0 search suggestion question mark. So now tell me, this looks like a post request or this looks like a get request?
Post request.
Get.
Why post? Why not get? What is
Search
the
and
meaning of this question mark? What is the use of this question mark?
Query string.
Query string. So we use query string in get or post.
Get.
Get na. Check see na get. Get. You don't have to even look at मुझे देखना नहीं पड़ा because I know query string में you can straightforward see ना we are passing the value what the user is typing in the query string, so why we need a post ना. Post तो कब चाहिए जब you have to pass that in the body. Okay, you choose that is a very simple value, let's pass in the query string. But if you see the this tutorial's point, they're using what post. So what is the standard, what is the correct way? Yeah, get or post, what is the best way? What is the best way, tell me.
Post.
There is no best way, Karan. Every developer, every company, every project will have. See, everybody is different with their what I can say approach. This is this approach. Sometimes they feel okay, somebody can tamper this thing, they will not use this thing. Okay, for example, I suppose I copy this URL. I will go in the Postman. Where is the Postman? I close Postman. I can go here. I can add. I can directly use this API. See, I will directly type AWS and send. Let me see the result. It's giving the result. Can you see this? It's giving the result, na? Because this is a public URL. Suppose I type Azure, send. This is giving the result. See, na? This is a public URL. So somebody can tamper it, na? In the if you open this, let open this URL, and without token also you're passing, na? There is no authentication happening, correct? Public URL, na? So somebody can misuse it. Sometimes it can happen. ठीक है, उतना डिटेल में नहीं जाऊंगा, but बता रहा हूँ just it. So company sometimes developers think we better make a post one. So it depends on the use case security. अभी देखा हमने जब गूगल का टाइप किया, we could not figure out. They are also making the API request, but कहाँ से वो भेज रहे हैं, किधर से डेटा आ रहा है, we could not figure it out because they have more security, correct? They have they're trying to hide many things. But these websites, Udemy and this tutorials point are not at that level, no? So we can easily get their APIs and we can use it now in our development also, correct? It's simple ना. Okay, तो देखो ना यहाँ पर मैं JSON फॉर्मेट में जाता हूँ, I will paste it. See, this is the results, object results, and is the array ID Azure. You can see the name, URL. See, this URL is not the complete URL, but this is URL is the, why this is not a complete URL here?
It will link to the existing one.
Yeah, because that's thing like a React. Na? In React we have multiple routes, correct?
Mm.
They're like just like a single application. It will not reload the page, है ना? It will
Mm.
just route to that values, correct? So it depends how they have. So every company, everybody will have a different implementation, है ना? But you can see Azure certification. So it's very simple. It's very simple. Everybody, this is the end. This is how what API is. What is API? API is very simple. We are sending some data. We're getting the response. इतना hard है क्या समझना? It's very easy. And that format is a JSON. Doesn't matter whether you are using Node.js, Java, .NET, कोई भी language हो, C++, doesn't matter. The standard is across the same. Browser को क्या पता है कि अच्छा, browser को JSON नहीं पता actually. This JSON is used by the JavaScript ना. Once they will receive this code, your JavaScript will use this to render the value, correct? In React, you have done this thing, correct? Once you get the API, the React or JavaScript code will use this value to render the thing, correct? So it is wrong to say that, okay, the browser using this value. No, browser is not using this thing. Browser is doing nothing. JavaScript is doing everything. When you type, JavaScript is making a request to the backend, correct? API, getting the result, displaying it. So सब कुछ JavaScript के through हो रहा है. Whether you are doing using plain JavaScript or React or Angular, anything doesn't matter. But हो तो वही चीज रहा है ना. So request response, समझो request response. Request is we sending some data and we are getting the response based on the data. Simple. How hard is it? How hard it is to build? How hard it is to build? See, there's so many courses. ठीक है. But now suppose अभी तो front end समझ में आ गया. Everybody how front end is working, how it is making requests. Now we'll come to the back end. I have some works I will close in 5 minutes today. So we'll focus on basic on backend. Now ये समझ में आ गया कि this is making a request to this URL. Now how does Udemy knows, or how the backend API knows, for AW we have to send from where that is getting this data, all the courses, from where they are getting this data, all the courses. And here also you can see the count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, I guess 11, 12. So depends, you know, something when 11, 10. Suppose I type Azure, then also you see the count will not be different. Count will be same: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 only. तो सचिन जो तुमने बोला ना, it is not from see, suppose using this value in backend we find thousands of things. The backend will not send 1,000 data at once. See the payload ना, ये जो payload देखो ना, ID 0 है ना, ID 0 whatever, first value, second, third, fourth, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We are getting total how many values? 12 objects in the array, correct? In the array, correct? So always we will get 12 only. Just verify it. आप जैसे check करो ना. You copy paste this thing in JavaScript object and check the value. You will always get the count is 12. So backend has a ready-made API which says अच्छा, backend will always send this much data maximum. Okay, so it is not from the front end because ऐसे design नहीं होता है backend. Backend will always have a definition because you need how much data to show in the UI. ठीक है, UI developer will say कि अच्छा मुझे I have to show only 10 data है ना at once. So backend developer will okay say okay, make it 10. So this is how it works. It's very simple. It's not complicated thing. Okay. So this is what I'm trying to make you understand. But हाँ, last point जो मैं पूछ रहा था, sorry. हाँ, so where this data is stored ultimately, from where this data is coming, they will also not fire कि अच्छा जाओ and find all the courses which start with AWS or AW or Azure. From where that query is happening? How does that would be happening? The data has to be somewhere, no?
Database.
Database, correct. So in backend, the most important thing is database. Okay, and in database we can have, I told you a lot of database. You have installed SQLite. We can have MySQL. Lot of things we can have. MySQL is one. Uh, MySQL, sorry. Then we can have this is sorry. One more popular is Postgres. Sorry. Then one more important is SQL Server, very widely used with .NET. This is also enterprise level software. मतलब, this is not free of cost. It costs you something. These are free of cost. This, all this are free of cost. This is not free of cost. It is like Microsoft will ask you pay some money. So yeah, but now with cloud you can get everything. है ना? Is like वो बाद में बताऊंगा. Will not good. Yeah, but my point is that data is somewhere. You hit the API. वो उसने एक query लगाया और data ला के दिया है. ठीक है? If I show you this code, which we were learning that day. This is some DB code, correct? Abhi, this is some DB code, select value from something, update something. So this is coming from DB. You are making some get request or post request, which in turn is making some query to database, giving you that value. Simple ना. इसने क्या बोला, select value from counts. जो भी वैल्यूज आया वो कहाँ पर आया, रो नाम के वेरिएबल में आया, एंड रो डॉट वैल्यू इज द काउंट. ठीक है, ये जैसे एक एग्जांपल दिखा रहा हूँ, ये थोड़ा सा आपको सिंटैक्स समझ में नहीं आएगा, बट बता रहा हूँ ये क्या कर रहा है, सिलेक्ट वैल्यू फ्रॉम काउंट. ठीक है, वो रो वेरिएबल में आया, फिर रो डॉट वैल्यू काउंट में भेज के आपको जेसन भेज दिया. सो बेसिकली ultimately what is happening, you're querying the database, getting some values and sending it back in the json format. इतना ही होता है ना. तो लास्ट टाइम यही बताया था एपीएस क्या होता है. And without database, it's very difficult to build any application. You have to store the data. No? Somebody will update something, somebody will log in, somebody will log out. Somebody wants to, suppose I go to Udemy. In Udemy, I want to log in, okay, but I don't have a username. So what they will say, Udemy will say, बोलेगा कि अच्छा आप क्या करो, you log in. But login के लिए पहले तो आपको sign up करना पड़ेगा. Once you will sign up, okay, or suppose you sign up with Facebook already existing account है, but once you will sign up, ओके, इट विल स्टोर योर डेटा ना. अच्छा कि आज एक नया यूजर रजिस्टर हुआ, तो एक नया यूजर रजिस्टर हुआ, भले वो फेसबुक से हुआ, कहीं भी हुआ, इट विल स्टोर द डेटा समवेयर ना. ऑब्वियसली इट विल स्टोर सम डेटा समवेयर. सो माय पॉइंट इज दैट सपोज आई साइन अप है ना, फुल नेम ईमेल एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स, इसने किया, साइन अप किया, डेटा स्टोर हो गया. नेक्स्ट टाइम यू विल यूज द सेम यूजर नेम एंड पासवर्ड टू लॉग इन, करेक्ट. सो डेटाबेस के बिना कुछ नहीं बनेगा. डेटाबेस, वी नीड डेटाबेस. सो बैकएंड इज वेरी सिंपल. दो अगर आपको एपीआई समझ में आ गया, जावास्क्रिप्ट ऑलरेडी you have worked, you know what is javascript. Okay, it's not a rocket science, very simple. You're making API calls. Now अभी हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, we are focusing more on the back end. You have already learned React, JavaScript, HTML, you know all those things, है ना. We are focusing more on the uh, back end part कि अच्छा APIs के थ्रू कैसे कॉल मारेंगे. सिंपल है ना, APIs कॉल मारा, आपको रिस्पॉन्स मिला, दैट्स इट. एंड एवरीथिंग हैपनिंग इन JSON फॉर्मेट. इट इज वेरी वेरी सिंपल. ओके, इट्स वेरी वेरी सिंपल. आपने पेलोड दिया, पेलोड के बेस पे आपको रिस्पॉन्स मिला. दैट इज व्हाट यू टू डू. ठीक है. सो वन थिंग आई विल डू, आई एम पेस्टिंग सम गिटहब लिंक. ओके, please try and try this examples at your end. Tomorrow again we will sit and check whether how much are you able to go through these things. Just 1 minute. Yeah, I send one link and let me send you one more link. uh, ओके फाइन. तो ठीक है, आज के लिए इतना ही. थोड़ा सा मुझे काम और लेता, बट थोड़ा सा मुझे एक काम आ गया, हैव टू गो. ठीक है, तो ये गिटहब का बहुत सिंपल है. गिटहब को कैसे स्टोर करना पड़ता है, एवरीबॉडी नोज. जस्ट क्लोन दैट रेपो इन योर लोकल. और अगर आपको गिट पता नहीं है तो जस्ट डाउनलोड अ जिप फोल्डर, अनजिप इट, एंड जस्ट रन अ सिंगल कमांड, npm स्पेस आई, npm/i. You, I guess everybody knows this thing, है ना, npm space I. So when you run the npm space I, it will install all the packages for you. You don't have to worry about anything. हाँ, database कौन सा है वो चेक करना पड़ेगा, है ना. So let's go through it, try to run it, and see whether are you able to run this thing or not. Tomorrow we'll focus more on the database side. Okay, how we can use Postgres or SQLite or any other database to build real world APIs, like how to do a get request, post request. Okay, and how to use ORM. इसमें मैंने जो लिंक भेजा है, this is having the ORM also, SQLize. You don't have to write the plain query like select star from that or update the start from that. You don't have to do that thing. Why? Because there's a ORM layer which where we have to deal with everything as an object. वही बताऊंगा, table and object and all those things tomorrow. We will do that thing.